and listen to myself speak.
Because we're missing a couple of people.
Where's Bailey at?
Bailey had, well, all of them got called down for that Presbyterian home.
What?
So wait, you made
did
so
I didn't.
you got called down.
When?
Yeah, you got called down. Middle of last period.
I was at lunch. Wait, where am I supposed to go?
283.
It's too late now.
Wait, go.
Shoot, can I go? Wait, where's 283?
You'll find it.
That way.
Downstairs.
Oh,
Okay, solid.
283 would be the second.
283.
I love that we just kicked her out.
Alright, so today's problem solving, it's literally just a bunch of random word problems, but they're all pretty simple in the fact that you should be able to think through, like if you're multiplying or adding. I don't want to say they're common sense because I don't want to insult anyone, but most of them you guys will be able to think through logically. You just have to read carefully and then interpret what you do. They're all different, so. 2 cars leave Washington at 9 a.m. One drives at 70 miles per hour, and the other drives at 53 miles per hour. Determine how far each car has driven by 11:45 a.m. So what do you think we would have to do first to problem solve this problem? We know what time they left, and we want to know how far they've traveled by 11:45. So how much total time have they been traveling? 2 hours and 45 minutes. What unit is our speed in? Hours or minutes? Miles per hour. So we need to convert this to hours. I should say only hours. It is not 2.45 hours. Okay, you need to think about this as being 2 hours and 45 sixtieths. Where did I come up with the 60? 60 minutes in an hour. So we can reduce 45 sixtieths, or we could type it in our calculator too. We'll get 3/4, or 2.75. So that's the total amount of time they've been traveling. What do you think we have to do with the time and their speed? Do we have to add them, subtract them, multiply them, or divide them? Figure out how long they've traveled. Multiply. So we're going to take their speed, which is miles per 1 hour, and multiply that by the number of hours. We're going to do that for each car, because there's 2 cars. So for car 1, they were traveling 70 miles per hour. And if you want, you can write it like this, 70 miles over 1 hour. You don't have to. You don't have to. And then we're going to multiply that by 2.75 hours. And then you'll be able to see that the units of hours are going to divide out to get us just with miles. So multiply that through, we'll get 192.5 miles. Again, you're not required to show this work. You can just multiply that in your calculator. Do the same thing for car 2, but they have a different speed. So their speed was 53 miles per hour. And so we're multiplying that again by 2.75 hours, not 27.5. And we should get something less than that because it's a slower speed. 145.75 miles. Please make sure you have units for any of the word problems. Okay. All right, switching gears. We have our school. They're all different word problems, so like you can't really. They're all multiplying, dividing, adding, subtracting. They're all basic math, but you should figure out what you're doing where. Hopefully we don't freeze. All right, the school sells 60 pieces of pizza per day for $1.25 each, and 40 MTOs at $1.50 each. If the cafeteria's expenses are $100 every day, how much profit is made over a 5-day period? So first of all, how do we calculate profit? How do we find the profit that is made? How much money we actually get to keep? So the school's making some money and they have some expenses. What are we going to do with those 2 numbers? Subtract them. So to figure out how much profit they're earning, we're going to take their income, or you could even say just amount of money they make each day, the income, and we're going to subtract our expenses. So So in the cafeteria downstairs, every day you guys pay for lunch, they get a total amount of money, but they have to subtract how much they owe to their food service that they buy their food from. Also, some of their expenses would be like the salary of each of the cafeteria workers. So that would also be considered an expense. But we don't know all of that information. So how will I find the income? How much money that they're earning every day based on the numbers that I see there? Good. We have 60 pieces of pizza and they're $1.25 each. We're going to multiply those. Do the same thing with your MTOs. We'll add those together. Made to order. Like a sub that you can choose what you want on it. Like sheets. MTO.
Those are
So we can run that calculation, just multiply and add. You can type that whole thing in your calculator. You will get $135 for the income. And that's income per day, daily. They told us that the expenses are $100 every day. So I'm going to subtract 100 to get 35. Now this is our profit per day. They want us to figure out how much profit is made over a 5-day period. So what do we have to do at the end? Multiply by 5. So we should get $175 profit. Now, some students will actually take the 135 times 5 and the 100 times 5 and then subtract them. You can do that. Doesn't matter when you account for the 5, but this is going to get you the smallest numbers to deal with if you subtract first. Okay. Next one, we have a salesperson receives a weekly salary of $350. In addition, $15 is paid for every item sold in excess of 200 items. How much extra is received for the sale of 212 items? I will tell you that there's something in this scenario that's extraneous, meaning it's extra. What number is in there that we don't need? Jenna? The 350. Their weekly salary doesn't matter. Because they didn't ask us how much they're making total, they just want to know how much extra is received. So how much extra would be received? Jen? Yes. So she subtracted 212 minus 200 to get that we have 12 items that are over our limit, 200, and then we just need to multiply that by 15. We'll get $180 extra. Now, if they were to ask what's her total salary for the week, you could then add the 350 on, because that's just extra on top of her weekly salary. But they didn't ask us that. They just said how much extra. Just reading carefully. And then example 4 on the back, we have a parking garage, which this is really how a parking garage typically structures their fees. So for the first hour, you pay $2.50, and then for each additional hour, you only pay 50 cents. If a customer gave the parking attendant $20 for parking from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., how much change would the customer get back? So we're going to figure out how much we owe, and then subtract it from 20. First of all, how long were we in the parking garage? 5 hours. Okay, so we have our first hour plus our other 4 hours. Okay, so we're breaking that 5 down into 1 and 4. So the first hour, $2.50. The next 4 hours were only 50 cents each, so that's 4 times 50 cents, which will get me $2. So $2.50 plus 2 will get me. So this is the amount that we owe. How much change will we get back if we give it 20? $15.50, just subtract. And stick a dollar sign on there, and I'll probably put change. But you don't need the word change, you can just have your dollar sign. Now, saving the most obnoxious one for last. It's tedious. Tedious. When checking out at Macy's, your total is $19.76. in how many ways can you receive change from a $20 bill? So first of all, how much change are we receiving? 24 cents. Don't worry, no one's gonna watch it.
I am.
Alright, so 24 cents. So we can't give a quarter, right? Otherwise that'd be great. We can give them a quarter and then ask them to give us a penny back. You could. Alright, all you do is list. And when you list, I would suggest that you do it in an organized fashion because, and I just found out that this moves. I would go, like, start out with the largest value coin and then work your way down. So for example, you could do 2 dimes, 0 nickels, and 4 pennies. Alright, then let's drop down to, let's say, 1 dime, 0 nickels. Well, it doesn't matter how you do it. Let's do 1 dime, 2 nickels. So that gets us to 20, and then we need 4 pennies. Then we'll keep it at 1 dime. Let's drop this down to 1 nickel. So just take the 5 from there and add that here. You'll get 9 pennies. Now we do need 1 dime, 0 nickels. And then how many pennies?
Can we just Google it?
Alright, now we've pretty much exhausted using 1 dime. So we're going to go to 0 dimes. And I would start with 4 nickels first to get 20. 4 pennies. And then just work your way down. 3 nickels, 2 nickels, 1 nickel, 0 nickels, and see how many pennies. And then count up how many you totally get.
Yeah, I didn't think it was obnoxious because I did it wrong. I had 3.
And for the record, no, this is not on your quiz. But there is one like this on the homework.
Is it longer? It's probably longer.
No, I think it's about the same.
You're so proud of them.
Well, at least I didn't say like how many ways can you make 99 cents. So we have a lot more options.
Well, I thought it was $1.24 the first time. You can just do a quarter.
Oh.
Yay, me. That's like the kind of mistakes I make.
And then a lot of you will forget the 24 pennies. So a lot of you will get all of them, and then you'll forget that you could get all pennies. So we should count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 ways. All right, homework is there for you guys to get started.